In God's eyes, our worship and our walk are one. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group. My name is Chris Bailey. We are in part 2 of this 5-part series, talking about worship that never ends. But we start with a question. Yes, we start a Bible study which answers things from the Bible with a question. Lord, who may abide in your tabernacle? That's the question we want to answer today. But before we get started, thank you for watching this study. We hope you're being blessed. Make sure you pass this on to someone else. Please hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. But don't just stick on the channel. Go visit us at changeministry.org. That is our website where we have so much more to offer, lots more for you to see so we can grow together. In God's eyes, worship and walk are one. If you've ever been in a plane, you have a real idea of what perspective is and how when you're at sea level or when you're on the ground, the airplane and everything looks totally different. 5,000, 10,000, 20, 30,000 feet up in the sky. You see so much more. And in God's perspective of our worship, it's different from us. One, because he's the one who Christians and believers worship in the name of Jesus. But in God's perspective of things, because he's sitting where he is able to see cause and effect. He is able to not just see action, but also intent. So with this amazing vision to see us both outside and in, he's able now to see things in a borderless way. Whereas because of where we stand and in our perspective, we can compartmentalize. We can say, well, my neighborhood is only as big as the houses that I see. But when you're in an airplane, you're able to say, well, my neighborhood is part of a subdivision. That subdivision is in a city. That city's in a county. That county's in a state. And you get my point. Perspective. So while we don't compartmentalize, look at what God sees. In Psalm 15, verse 1, he asked the question, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? This is a question worth asking. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in there. So if it's a question worth asking, then the answer is worth understanding. Who? Well, in verse 2-3, it says, he that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor. So wait a minute. I thought the question was about who's going to be able to worship, not who's going to be able to work for the church, but who can really worship? Well, that was the question. Who will dwell in God's presence? Who can be even in that worship experience through and through? This is not talking about anybody's musicological outlook, or it's not talking about anybody's musical experience or even their musical skill. In fact, it's not even looking at anything about the hand necessarily. It's talking about the heart that guides the hand. And that hand, it's not just playing a piano, but it's just about how we treat people. It's not just how we string an instrument, but it's how we instruct our children and how we minister to others. But it doesn't stop there. To see the walk and the worship are one. When you go to verses 4-5, it says, again, answering this question, who will abide in thy tabernacle? In whose eyes a vile person is contemned, but he honoreth them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. Did you catch that first part where it says, he that looks at a vile person as a vile person? So wait a minute. One of the principles of really being able to worship is having discernment. So worshipers are discerners. And not only that, but discerning truth from error, but then lifting up the truth, honoring those that fear the Lord. Then it talked about how we treat the innocents. It hit it again, how we actually act with the weakest among us. All of these things are going into the factoring in of that question being answered. Who is really going to be able to sit back, relax, and release and receive the joy of the Lord in his presence? And it just pointed to lifestyle, the walk. Brothers and sisters, as we look at these verses, please remember the view from God's cockpit. And when he's looking at us worshiping, he is appreciating that moment. He is enjoying that Sabbath. That experience is sweet. But he is also looking with the same lens, with the same clarity, with the same focus after church, before church, even outside of church. God can't take his eyes off of you because he thinks about you, and he's always thinking about you because he loves you.